hats off to y'all. Keep this train rolling, and you really open the playbook up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
So I guess we had an election.
Absolutely.
And we will have a new Mayor-elect Eric Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And we have new council members that we talked about in our first segment. And I just feel like, and we've talked a lot about this, even before the runoff, it feels like a different kind of energy that's going to be coming to City Hall. And, I worked there for 4.5 years at the city. And, there were times when it just was tough because of the atmosphere around the horseshoe. Absolutely. I think it's fair to say for people who work there. But it seems like we have a group of people who now want to get things done.
Absolutely.
And so do you have any, number one, thoughts on the incoming council and even any advice that you would give to them as they come in?
Well, number one, I'm a little jealous because I believe they'll be able to get some things done, but I'm also excited and energized by that. That I do, I think it's good because we talked about Mayor Mike, and he is a strong personality. And even though Dallas is a weak mayor system, someone like him can carry some water sometimes that others may not have been able to do that. So I am happy for Mayor-elect that he won't have to lift, hopefully, if they all gel together and come together and work together and figure out what's best for the city and work with our city manager towards that vision. He won't have to have some of those heavy lifts we had, and just to do some of the things we wanted to do, even for Southern Dallas or Dallas as a whole, because, I have community relations kind of all over the city. So even though I care very deeply about Southern Dallas, all of Dallas is in my heart and what we care about. And it's like some things would just be harder than they needed to be. Mm-hmm. And so now I don't believe it has to be that way. And if, my advice is definitely to work together, figure out, what works for you all. I know one of the 4 pillars that TC has is equity, and everybody loves to say that word equity, but I don't think a lot of people realize how hard equity is, and I totally am a proponent of equity, but it's hard work because that's working with people who you're not used to working with, going against the grain, spending that time building capacity in areas that it may not exist in order for things to be equitable. So I really think if they work together, it will be, easier, and they can actually do some good things and not argue over the small things and do more in less time.
Well, we know that no small things are on your horizon, Vana. Only big things. We want
big D.
That's right.
Big things happen here.
Big things happen here. Come on.
Vana, how can our listeners continue to follow your journey?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at Vana Ham, VANAHAM.
Really? That was available?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's close.
Well, hopefully, when you go on and do whatever it is that you're going to do, you do not forget the little people here at Deconstructing Dallas, and maybe, we can go out and have drinks or whatever it is that we do. Do that on a regular basis of some, how about once a quarter maybe?
Yeah.
Is that too much?
I'm down for it.
Okay, that's great.
You guys will probably be tired of me because I won't be as busy. I'll be like, what are you guys doing? Let's get together.
No comment. Well, we are thankful for Vana, for you coming in, and we're really proud of the job that you have done.
Aww.
Really, really
Thank
are.
you, Vana.
Well, thank you all for being great partners. Shawn and Ryan, I call them all the time in pinches.
We do talk a lot.
Exactly. Save us, help us. So we appreciate you all and your partnership for our administration. As long as I've been there, I've always been able to count on you. Ryan brings things in his personal truck. He's brought supplies during our hurricanes and all of our...
How many hamburger buns?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Water.
Like our Uber DoorDash guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ryan,
No
bring a truck full of cupcakes. And he's there.
That's right.
First day I met Ryan was at an event, and literally he had on a suit and had his sleeves rolled up carrying water.
Yes.
That was the first time I met Ryan.
Exactly. I'm like, nobody can talk bad about Ryan to me because he is my guy. So I just give him a hard time and nobody else can.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Vana, and we must do this again. We will be right back after this. This is Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. We'll be right back. We are back, Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. A wonderful, wonderful time with our friend Vana. Insightful, fun, funny, all of the above.
Vana, best wishes to you and your next endeavors. We're excited to stay friends with you and continue stepping alongside you.
Looks like our friend Scott Goldstein is headed to Dallas Regional Chamber, so congratulations to Scott.
Yeah, Scott, my neighbor, who also has a tree limb. I hope that tree limb is off your house by this point that we've posted this podcast, Scott. So if you need a saw, I'll come over. But
you had sawing. You were doing some sawing.
I was doing
Sunday.
some sawing, and we were out there. Tabitha, always stylish. My 2.5-year-old was in her red cowboy boots and some very fancy pants, and crushing a popsicle. So that was fun, and we were just out there all being neighborly.
We love to talk about the different clients we work with and the different opportunities that we have. Last week, probably for me, the highlight was attending the Economic Development and Housing Committee meeting with our client, Doug Dunsavage from American Heart Association. But you had a really good meeting with one of our elected officials.
Yeah, Shawn, I've been helping a friend of mine, Rodney Anderson, who was recently elected the chair of the Dallas County Republican Party. Congrats to you, Rodney. We're going to have him on the show. We're going to try to get him on in the next couple weeks here. But I was able to coordinate a meeting with U.S. Senator John Cornyn and Rodney the end of last week, and it never a bad thing to hang out with the senior U.S. Senator from Texas. Thank you, Senator Cornyn, for your time. We had a great meeting, catching up, hearing about his campaign ramping up. So it'll be an exciting 2020. I know 2018 just finished and the legislative session's just over, and we just got through civic elections and runoffs. But the fun never ends. The road goes on forever, and the fun never ends, Shawn.
It's kind of like post time and horses. There's always an election somewhere. So, even though we're done here, there's somewhere where people are getting ready to exercise their right. And speaking of which, we want to make sure more people, I'm glad we had an opportunity to encourage people to vote, but we've got to get more people involved in the process here in Dallas for our elected officials. But congratulations to Chairman Anderson, and glad that you all had a good meeting with Senator Cornyn. Yeah,
it's Dallas is a big changing, 9th largest county in America, Shawn. So, we shall see. 2020 is just a day away.
2020 is up on us, and I think there are 75 Democrats running for president, and so we'll try to see if we can whittle our way through that over the next few months. But it'll be interesting. Local elections are interesting, and before you know it, speaking of which, District 100, House 100, immediately, it's like as soon as the early voting numbers came in and showed that Mayor-elect Johnson was going to be our next mayor, like people start dropping campaign videos to replace him. So that will be a very interesting race to watch. Indeed. And to see when that election will be, and to see who all comes out into that race, because it looks like we'll have a couple of friends at least in that race.
It'll be Hollywood Squares, Shawn, yet again.
Well, I want to make sure that we recognize our in-studio guest that we've had here as we recorded our show today.
Yes, we had her on the show last week, a clip from our Run the Highlands, but my mother, our in-studio audience today down here at the South Dallas Cultural Center. Mom, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it.
And thanks for moving my chair to the back, too, because I was trying to get set up here, having a little trouble. I had a squeaky chair, but she made sure that my chair was switched out. It's always good to have a mom around.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we want to thank Vana Hammond for coming in and being on our show today. We want to thank John Spriggins and the South Dallas Cultural Center for hosting us. We want to thank Mary Woodley. We want to thank Jennifer Pascal, our bosses, for allowing us to do this. This is an Allen Media production. We are going to ask each and every one of you to go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave us 5 stars. Give us a review. Let us know what you think. Share this with your friends. Subscribe. We need you. Our numbers are looking better, but hey, we're greedy. We want to have more people listen to our show, and we want to deconstruct Dallas with as many people as possible. So until next time, this is Shawn Williams with Ryan Trimble. Adios.